Pasha Pabo, YNS7, thank you for tuning the replay. Big board pep for my peeps. Appreciate your patience. I'm back. I told you, set the notification bell. Subscribe. Alright? So listen, got some huge news for y'all. Alright? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. You see the title. But I think I got the smoking gun for y'all. Okay? Let's take a look. So you guys know where we were at mid-December, end of December. We caught this nice little ride here, right? We brought this to you. Foresight, Israeli. We broke it all down. Go check the video where we did the full company breakdown. You know what they about. You know in that video I told y'all they're going to be the next Luminar. Right? So we caught this here. It dropped a little bit. We said that anticipated it to stay, the floor would be about $4, which it pretty much has been since the end of December. Now today, the P.E.P closed. It took a nice leap. There was maybe a little hint on the 8th. You see a little bump there. And then it settled back down. But I think these are the warning, like the precursory tremors before the major earthquake, before the major volcano eruption. Alright? I'm going to tell you why in a moment. Stay with me. So, this P.E.P closed at 680. Now, it officially closed at 66% up. But it had a high for the day of $7.90, right? So, at one point, it was up over 100%. Slightly over 100%. Maybe it hit exactly 100%. But it was in the 3-digit percentages. And if we go back here, right? We caught it up 350% on this ride. So it's up another 100% after it took a little settling over a couple days, a couple weeks actually. Now, if we go back to this original quote, see, this happened to me a few times. I'm learning, right? And you guys get to see my log and learn with me, okay? So, back here, I said it's got to reclaim this and hold 644. And then it'll go to 720. Then it's clear for 722 to 848. Well, it didn't do that, right? It came down. And it settled at above $4. But this price action that I gave you before December 25th, consider it an early Christmas present if you into such things. Because once it reclaimed 644, I said it was clear for 722 to 848. So the day it hit 790. Alright? Then $8 to $10 a share. Alright, so we took a pullback and it flatlined on us for a couple weeks. And then here we go. It raced gradually. Didn't go super parabolic, but it had a nice upward curve. And it hit $6. And it gave us a little bit of resistance there. A lot of resistance at $6, which is why I feel good about where it's at right now. I think even if it drops a little bit more, it should maintain $6 mark, right? You see those lines from the purple lines was my initial trajectory assessments earlier in the day when I caught it, and I wanted to see what the channel might look like, and you can see how it was going, then it started to peel upward from my bottom line there, and it pierced the top line, and then it dropped, and then that's when it held at $6 for a minute. And then thereafter, it took the elevator up to above $7, and then a little pullback, and then it went to its high for the day at 790. Now, once it got there, around, like I say here, the 3 o'clock. See, if you look down there, those lines at the bottom, for those that don't know, the bottom of the chart, that's red and green in this case, those are representations of volume activity. Okay, so generally speaking, the higher the line, the taller the line, the more volume or the more push. If it's green, it's upwards. If it's red, it's a downward. Okay, so if we don't count the 3 o'clock, because that was like right at 2:45ish. You know, the market closes at 4, so right at about 2:45ish is when it kind of hit resistance, because people were starting to sell off. And I don't think again, I'm no expert. This is entertainment purposes only. Of course I'm an expert. No, you're not an expert. So this is purely for entertainment purposes only. And you know how we get here. So we get excited about things when it's time to get excited about them. So I want you to feel excitement about this, because at 2:45, you know, the market closes at 4. I think people just start locking in their profits for the day. I really don't think this pullback is representation of peak value. I think this is just okay, let me lock in profits. It's getting close to the end of the day. I don't want everybody to jump out at one time and I missed the ball. Okay, so I think that's what this is here. And some people got started a little early, and that's why it started to give resistance like 2:45ish, and then it started to go downhill thereafter. Now, looking at the volume, being as though it was basically increasing over the course of the day, up until that point, I think that's a really good sign for an explosion in volume, which is going to also create some added volatility tomorrow. I don't know exactly how long, or you know, we can't predict everything, but I think there's going to be some explosive activity with this tomorrow. Besides, everybody that didn't get in it today is now getting the news tonight, and they're going to be anxious to see if there's a good entry point for them tomorrow, which should drive the stock up somewhat. Now, that's what I say it should do. And then, okay, so once it's reestablished, I should have put reestablished, but once established above 702 again, okay, we got to work. It's going to get, you know, climb up to 728. 728 to 790 is gonna have to put some work in to get through that. It's gonna be a tough zone. It's like going that little patch of distance between Central America and South America. They don't have no roads and no land way to get through it aside from just jungle walking. You can't even take a off-road truck through it. It's gonna be a little rough. However, once it establishes itself above the 790 and hold like $8, once it holds $8, 1043 is right on the money. It might be available tomorrow. Okay? Now, that's if it takes an upward trend tomorrow based off explosive volume. We've seen other stocks completely double in the double-digit range in the last couple months that we've been doing this broadcast. So, we know this is a loaded gun, and it's ready to go off. It is a hot magma chamber, ready to flow. I want you to get some, okay? Now, if it does not explode tomorrow, I think that within you got to know your own risk factors. You got to know what you're willing to lose. Considering that this is really only sitting up right now about 250 above basically what its floor has been for a while, I think this is a good stock to go long on. I think you take a portion of what you're working with, or at least I am. I'm not saying a large portion, and you drop it in here and see what happens. Find an entry point tomorrow and see what happens. Um, if it remains flat, I think that'll be a good thing long term, because as long as it doesn't drop, I think there's going to be another tremor on the horizon, if not the full eruption coming soon. If this is not the beginning of the actual lava flow, okay? The caldera busting, you know what I'm saying? So, let me tell you why, alright? This is why. See, what the news said, matter of fact, I can show you what the news said real quick. I should have done that. Thank you for your patience. Alright, so the brief was Foresight, basically Eagle Eye, that's a good movie. EagleNet Mobile will begin a pilot project with a Japanese vehicle manufacturer. And it's a lot of them Japanese vehicle manufacturers, but let me tell you why it's Toyota. This is why it's Toyota. So this is back from January 2020. You might be getting this information here first in the world. Like, we'll find out. But Toyota reported back a year ago, almost to the day. Toyota is building a 175-acre smart city in Japan where residents will test out tech like AI, robotics, and smart homes. So, now you already know in the other video I told you, NIO is going into, let me tell you why this is so huge. See, we thought Luminar, prior to knowing about this one, we saw what Luminar did. We saw it go up to the 30s, right? So, we caught a lot of that. That's good. We caught this one sub $5, and we've been picking at it. Like I said, I think this is now the time to sit on it for a minute. Which, you know, that means a lot coming from me, because I'm really leery about sitting on stuff during these times. Okay? But listen to this. Toyota is building a 175-acre smart city in Japan where residents will test out tech like AI, robotics, and smart homes. The only thing missing is your smart cars, is your autonomous vehicles, is your self-driving cars. So, AI, robotics, and smart homes, comma, FRSX, smart cars. Here's what the city of the future will look like. Okay? So, it says it's about 62 miles from Tokyo, right? At the base of Mount Fuji. What better place to like do this, right? With the epic mountain. Oh, were we just talking about volcanic eruptions? I mean, in a good way, like money eruptions, right? So the company announced earlier this month at CES. Remember, this is a year ago. The biggest tech trade show of the year. The city of the future will function as a testing ground for technologies like robotics, smart homes, and artificial intelligence. And last January, the EV market wasn't the thing like it is now. So it only makes sense that we're going to go robotics, smart homes, comma, smart cars, and artificial intelligence. And we'll be home to a starting population of 2,000 employees, Toyota employees. Right? So they're going to do product testing on a 175-acre city. What better place to do it? You put some of your own employees in there, let them ride around in these things, get data, do tests, all kinds of stuff. The tourists come in, see it being done live. They might get to experiment or experience with it, ride around. Oh, and their families, retired couples, retailers, and scientists who will test and develop these technologies. So residents of the city which Toyota has dubbed the Woven City, will live in smart homes with in-home robotic systems to assist with daily living and sensor-based artificial intelligence to monitor health and take care of other basic needs. But they didn't mention travel and transportation because in January of 2020, it wasn't as big of an EV autonomous push as right now. So of course, they just simply need to have comma and smart transportation. Then it goes on to tell you about who it was designed by, and what they worked on and all this stuff. And bump bump. So Toyota's playing sit to the base, Mount Fuji. I don't know where the picture is, but these websites. Multiple parks, large central plaza. Residents, we already talked about this. They already said that. Okay. So you get the picture, right? That's why it's Toyota. And the great thing is, you know what Toyota's known for. Toyota's known for quality. And Toyota's known for products that last. So what this is gonna do now, like I said, I told you in the last video, I think NIO's gonna have a deal with them coming soon. Which then will put them also in line with Intel and their Mobileye, at least through association, right? But aside from that, this deal with Toyota. Now remember, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm saying it's Toyota. Put in the comments below if you think it's Nissan, Honda, Subaru. You let me know who you think it is. I'm saying it's Toyota. And if it's Toyota, or if it's any one of them, and it goes beyond a pilot, which even just it being a pilot is now got the whole automotive industry looking at Foresight. Because if one company's doing it now, you can't be left behind. You gotta get some Foresight too. Ain't that how the world works? Oh, so and so got glasses because their vision was you should get glasses too. Then it'll help you see. Come on, don't worry about it. People aren't gonna make, you know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you got glasses. Like, wow, that's so much better, right? I mean, however, just a weird example there, but you get what I'm saying. So the rest of the automotive industry is now in a scramble to try and get a piece of this. And how come they didn't go with any of the other alternatives? Could it be because Foresight is focusing on extreme conditions? I mean, not to say they're not getting the regular conditions right, but they're like I told you, I didn't see this focus on extreme conditions in Luminar's playbook. I don't hear about this in Tesla. I don't even know that Teslas are being driven in the blinding snow and fog. I don't know. Right? I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying. When you come out the box and say your focus is making sure you're safe in the worst of conditions, people going to feel really good in the best of conditions. So if this is, I'm saying it's Toyota on January 13, 2021. Before anybody else. And I'm gonna own whether I'm right or wrong, okay? But I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't matter from what doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong is that this pilot program with a multi-billion-dollar Japanese automotive company, even being a pilot, is now just put Foresight on the map if you did not know about it already. And other automotive industry companies are going to be interested in their product, and the stock is only going to go up from here. It may settle a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't see it going to back down to below $5 for too long. I think it's going to hold above 6. So see what you're willing to risk, and I think this is going to be the first one in a while that I want to sit on long. And that's my log for the day. Um, like I said, I'm telling you, January 13th, 2021. I think Foresight and Toyota got something coming up for y'all. So let's get in it. Let's get some of that. I think this is going to be a slight pullback, like a slingshot. It's going to go up tomorrow, or else it's going to settle and give us another flat line, like Foresight be doing. But it'll be pretty solid until the next seismic activity that causes the magma to shoot up out the ground. Volcano. Pasha Pyro, YNet7. Thank you for tuning. The replay, big board pep for my peeps. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Get all the alerts.